and welcome to this week's episode of Sales Success with Lixxy, where we are passionate about helping you transform the sales in your business so you are always fully booked. Today, we're going to be joined by Lynsey Cook, who is a virtual assistant and also the host of needava.co.uk. So we are going to be talking all about how a VA can help your business and some of the pitfalls to avoid when choosing a VA for your business. So let's get into it. Excellent. Could you, Lynsey, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
So I'm Lynsey Cook and I'm a virtual assistant, have been for the last 4 years, and I am just starting a new venture into a website called needava.co.uk.
Amazing. What is a VA for those that don't know?
A VA. So a virtual assistant can take many different kinds. So there's like tech VAs, wedding VAs, travel VAs. So they are basically your help, your business support. So they are there to traditionally do the admin behind, every part that basically you hate of your job. But a lot of people didn't get into work to then do a load of admin, like do their own business to then do a load of admin, but we did. So yeah, we do all the, like I said, the parts that you will hate. Yes, basic admin, and then from that mine's kind of progressed into like business support, so helping people progress their business as well as the boring stuff.
Yeah, I love the idea of VA because I think it's a good way of expanding your team without having to employ a team, because they're essentially outside workers. It's their own business that you then pay to help you in your business.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and the also the VAs work, like, I think I saw a stat once that said like they work 8 times as fast as you, basically.
Wow.
Because I suppose if admin is your thing, or like working on a spreadsheet is your thing, you're going to work through it a lot quicker than someone that can't use a spreadsheet. So where people say, "Oh, my partner does my admin for my business," I'm like, okay, great. I reckon I could do it faster than that, and probably better, because I'm a professional at it. So it's that kind of,
we talk a lot on the podcast about doing like finding the things that your zone of genius and then delegating the things that aren't. And I guess that's where a VA comes in. Like, I hate numbers. I don't like them. I am not a fan. I think I probably have, what's the dyslexia but for numbers, whatever that is. I think I have that because as soon as you start talking numbers to me, my brain just turns off. So I wouldn't want to do anything in my business that is related to numbers. And like, I know how important they are, but I hate doing them. So that's the kind of thing that I absolutely would delegate to a VA or my accountant, because it would take me forever. Like, if you have me sit down and, I don't know, track my metrics, for example, for all of the things in my business, to me that sounds like the worst idea ever. But that's something that I could outsource to a VA who loves working in spreadsheets and working with numbers. And like you said, they get it done a lot quicker because they enjoy doing it and they're better at it.
But I think also it means that any part of it's your business, so it's really hard to look at it yourself. So someone else coming in and going, "Oh yeah, I could easily do that, no problem," because we're out of it. We're not part. There's no emotion in there in that sense. Like, if you're looking at the matrix of your business, you'd be like, "Oh, I don't like that bit," and ignoring it or pushing it over. We're like, "Nah, there it is, bang, bang, bang," and then it's all there. And but yeah, there's actual bookkeeping VAs. That's all they do. That's how I started. Was literally looking at people's expenses and putting them onto a spreadsheet, because they were like, "Oh, no, I'm not joking. I still do get people with like either Tupperware boxes full of paper, or I've had like Sports Direct massive bags full of paper, and like I've got a really old reel of where I've like got the bag, opened the bag, poured it out, and then put it all into like files and things.
Yeah, I'm not that bad. Just for anyone listening, I'm not quite that bad. But there are, like, most of us got into business because we are passionate about the thing that we do, not because we wanted to do all of the other stuff that comes with running a business. And I think we also, as small business owners, we tend to think that we have to do it all, that we have to manage all of the different areas of our business ourselves, which we absolutely don't. There's a reason that there are accountants and bookkeepers and VAs and all of these other people that can help you do the things in your business that you're either not that good at, or that you just don't enjoy doing.
That's it. That's a VA. Thanks, Lixxy. Right,
No,
done.
4 minutes.
Yeah, just done it. But it is.
So I think
Because
oh, sorry, you go.
I was saying that with a lot of speakers that I've heard, that they explain how, how you're going to get to a certain spot, but they don't explain all these little parts that all come into it. Where a VA or like a tech VA would create your, email stream, or would create even the database so that you could then contact people. It's the bits in between. So like there's a perfect way of coaching someone how to do it. It's just all these parts that's where a VA would come in and just go, props, I've got that. Don't worry. I'll sort that.
Yeah, I think a good way of looking at it is like I might have a really good idea, but actually bringing that idea to life, there's lots of steps in between my great idea and delivering that idea. And to get to delivering the idea is where a VA, I think, helps, because they can help you with the marketing, the tech that is used to deliver the thing. They can help with getting people signed up and onboarded, and all of those, like those other little tiny bits that happen in the middle. That's where a VA sits perfectly. And then also, even when customers are onboarded and you've sold the product, they do all the follow-up as well.
Yeah. So it's basically all those little, I say little, they're all important.
Oh yeah, they're big.
But the bits. Yeah, but it's the bits that people go, oh God, I've got to do that today. Oh, I've got to make sure I follow up, or I've got, I know automation can help with all that kind of thing, but you've still got to create that automation at the beginning to then do it. So yeah, it's basically helps you with every step and wherever you want to bring them in.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I think during quite a lot of us do live launches. Obviously, you're going through one at the moment. I did one last week, and there's a lot of work that's involved in a live launch. And having someone that can support you with that, I think is a game changer. Just someone that you can bounce ideas off of, or that while you're messaging all of the leads that you want to sell to, you've got someone else that's doing the other tasks that need doing during the launch. And it's like having another employee in the business. So you're not doing everything yourself. You've got someone on your side that's helping you with the workload.
Yeah. Oh, totally. And like I said, like you said, I've just done a launch, and if it wasn't for the fact that I have a team, I really don't think I'd have been able to do it. It's a lot. It's my first ever one. It was intense, and it's like you have a job to do. So you need your team, you need to be organized and accountable, all these things that you're coached to do. Well, sometimes it is hard just to do that, so being able to delegate that to someone else that you trust, which is something that I hold quite a lot, that I want to work with people, and I'm not gonna say I can do something when I can't. Otherwise it's just pointless. So
yeah, I think it's important, because otherwise you end up with you end up feeling rubbish because you can't do the thing that you've been asked to do, and then also the business owner that you're working for ends up with a poor experience because you said you're going to deliver something and you can't, and it just comes back to like being in business with integrity, doesn't it? Like, I recorded a sales training this week where I said, like, don't be a sleazy salesperson. If you're talking to somebody and they tell you they've got a problem that you can't fix, don't make your product fit their problem. Like, if what you're selling actually doesn't solve their problem, do not sell it to them, because in the end it's just going to damage your business, because you've taken their money for no reason, because you can't solve their problem, and they're going to tell people that, and it's just not worth it. So yeah, absolutely.
Totally.
If you can help with the problem, amazing, but if you can't, then just be upfront with it.
Yeah. I think that takes a lot of confidence to be able to go, actually, no, that's not something. For instance, I won't won't do phone calls. Like, a lot of people want calls to, can you call this person to I worked for a boiler company once. They wanted you to book calls to make book boiler services. And I was like, 2 years ago, I might have been like, "Yep, no problem. I'll do that." But now I'm like, that's not it's not something I can offer, because, well, too busy. There's many reasons, like being too busy with other work. I don't want to do it. So why would, it's again, goes back to, why did we start these businesses? To do work we want to do. I don't want to make calls. But
100%.
that's where you have a team. You get a
Yeah,
team,
exactly.
and someone might go, yeah, I'll make calls, no problem. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
absolutely. Like, I don't think we should be doing, obviously, I think at the beginning of the business, when you're still starting out, doing everything, it kind of comes part and parcel. But as the business grows, we definitely don't have to be doing all of the things that we don't like doing. Like, we need to get external people to help us with these things that we don't want to spend our time doing. Because like you said, we started the business to do that thing that we're passionate about, not because we love doing all of the extra stuff that comes with it.
Yeah, totally. And then that's a bit like with social media. Yeah, when we were at that the strategy day in London the other day, it's like everyone, it's such a big blocker for people, this social media, the time, the content, whatever. And as a VA, I think I was the only one in the room that was like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. Yeah,
I
I've
love
got it
it.
sorted. Don't worry. Like, and that is just another task that VAs can do, you
Yeah.
know. And we're not Coca-Cola, aren't we? So does it matter? Like, let's make it personal. Let's make it fun, and not get hung up on it. But it's just,
Yeah.
that is a bit of the biggest one for me at the minute. It's just the people's social media issues and things, rather than the admin behind their business.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I must be on social media, I must. And you're like, well,
Must you? I think social media is a great tool, but if you really do hate it and
we're
you
in.
don't want to do it, find another way to run your business or get someone else to do it for you.
Yeah, just
But when it
outsource it, get it done.
but when it yeah, I think it was Lisa Johnson that once talked me through this exercise, and it wasn't just me specifically. We were in a room full of people. It wasn't just me and Lisa. But it was the idea of like $1,000 tasks. So you write out a list of everything that you have to do in like a week, and then you put a value next to them of how much of your time doing that is worth. So delivering coaching, that might be worth £1,000 because you're the one that has to
Yeah.
deliver the coaching. But doing your expenses for the week might only be worth like £5, that kind of thing. And then all of the tasks
Okay.
that aren't the $1,000 tasks, those are the tasks that you give away, so that you can spend more time doing more $1,000 tasks, so that your time is spent
Wow.
on the stuff that only you can deliver and that brings in the most money. And then all of the other things that are on your to-do list and that absolutely still need doing, those are the sorts of
Yeah.
things give over to a VA.
Just going to make a note of that. And no, it's something that I do anyway. Usually, when I start to talk to someone and they're like, I have no idea how you can help me, I go, right, go away for the week, and just have a post-it note or whatever you've got next to your laptop, next to whatever, and just everything you do in a kind of different way, everything you do that you hate doing or can't be bothered or whatever, write that down, and then the list is there. It
That's a great
just
idea.
creates. Yeah, because they're the ones that you go, oh, or the ones that are still on your to-do list that you haven't done. Just highlight them and you've done it. So that's where, and that's, I'd say, a part of a tricky part of being a VA, in that every single client is different. Well, I say tricky, I suppose we all have it, like you have it with coaching, like every single person is different. But where we're at the nitty-gritty part of people's businesses, we have to adapt. Yeah, there are parts that I could go, oh, I really don't think you should be doing that on Trello. I think you should be doing it this way, or I don't think you should do that way. If that's how they want to do it, that's how they want to do it. So we have to adapt, give our ideas, but kind of go, okay, well, I'll do it that way. That's fine. And then also, like with the things they don't like doing, some of them you might have to go, well, you might actually have to do that, and I'll take this other part.
Yeah.
Because
there's certain things that because you obviously emulate the persona of the business owner quite often because you're doing content for them, so you'll talk in their tone of voice and that kind of thing. But I think there are certain aspects that the business owner can't give up, like face to camera videos, for example. Like, that's not, even if you hate doing them, that's not something you can give away or delegate to somebody else because you're the face of the business. So absolutely, definitely things that you would have to keep doing. But is there something else? They do the video, but then perhaps you do all of the editing so that they don't have to do any of that stuff. All they have to do is like the recording bit.
So you would then, like, you'd post it, you'd do all that, so it kind of takes that bit away. Like I do have a client that they absolutely hate me, that I'm like, can you just do a video for me? Otherwise we need a video on, like, in your socials for that. And she's like, for God's sake, Okay. And then you get it, and she's like, just cut this up, make it happen. I'm like, okay, that's
I
fine.
love that. It's not for everyone. So I would love to
No.
touch on, there are lots of VAs that do lots of different things. If
Yep.
a business owner is listening and they are debating the idea of getting a VA, what sort of things do you think they need to be looking at when they go out and search for their perfect VA?
So I think you need to look for the like vibe, like the gelling with a VA.
I think that's the first thing you should look for before you look at anything else. If
Yeah.
you don't like the vibe of the person, you're not going to want to work with them.
No, but I'm very cut and I am what I am. I'm not going to hide it. If you want to work with me, fantastic. If you don't, but that's again out of years. There was a big point where I was like, yes, 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 took everything and went for it all. But yeah, you need to find the right vibe, and that is one of the reasons of I wanted, like, the directory. I wanted it to be a UK directory because if you're looking for the cheapest, that's up to you. But like, are you going to get the best then?
Yeah. So tell us a
I
little
do
bit
believe
about the
in
directory for those that are listening. What is the
again,
directory? Tell us a little bit
the
about the
directory.
directory. Like, what is
Oh
it?
yeah, okay. So well, the reason why I started it was because of not every VA is like myself, in that I am not scared of going on camera, that I use social media, that I will, I mean, I just walked up and started talking to you in the middle of a room. Like, not everyone can do that, which is fine. But then I questioned where else can you find work as a virtual assistant? If you're not literally, anyone you meet, you're going, do you need a VA? Do you need that help? What can we do? What can you do? So then I looked at social media, and I looked at the like need a virtual assistant groups, and
Okay.
there'll be, yeah, they're out there, they're good fun. So say you might put one on, like a post on there that says I need a VA to do this X, Y, and Z. You will get hundreds and hundreds of people commenting on that one post, right? You will then get people multiply commenting. It's like it is mad. I took some screenshots of some of them because I was like, oh my god. So so everybody comments on there. So I've commented on there, just disappeared. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
what do you say? Do you come in and go, oh, I'm the cheapest, or I'm the best, or oh yeah, like if someone says, I want you to make something on Canva, oh yeah, I can make it on Canva with my eyes closed. Like what do you do to, like, get that hook? You can't, because you are literally just throwing it out there and seeing
Yeah.
who, if it happens. So, and I have never, ever, ever, ever got any work that way, ever.
Oh wow.
Um,
Because like as
I've
a business owner,
tried,
if that was my post, that would be way too much. I'd be so overwhelmed, and I
yeah.
probably would ignore it, and I'd go somewhere else and find someone somewhere else.
But what they do, they say, like, some of them would say, like, do not comment, just message, which is even worse, because then you are again throwing it out there. You might hit their spam. Well, I hate Facebook Messenger anyway. It just, things don't work properly. So you message, and then you're just not seen. So what's the point? I was like, what
Yeah.
is the point of this? So that's where I was progressing as a business anyway, and I was debating about starting an agency because I was meeting all these great VAs, and I was like, oh, they could work for, oh, I know someone that could work for them, or I know this. And then I thought, I don't want to be an agency. I just thought it'd be more responsibility, and then managing people like I have done in previous jobs, and I didn't want that. So
Yeah.
I've got my little team of my VAs that back me up, so I can have holidays and things, and also progress. So I thought about a directory, so where you can find virtual assistants in the UK. So they would all have your specialism and your location. I then had people say to me, why would you do location? And I was like, because you're virtual. And I was like, well, I'll tell you now that I've got most of my work because I am local to my town.
Okay.
And also I got work through recommendation on a Facebook post, but like a community one. Someone asking for virtual assistant it was in Harlow. Now that's where I'm from, but I don't live there. But people started tagging me and saying, "Oh, you need Lynsey."
Amazing.
Now that wouldn't have happened if I'd have been in Lincoln.
Yeah.
I couldn't have got that job. So that I was like, no, I want the locations. Let's have a location, or also if it's your business is about the local area, you need to know about that local area or know about events that are coming up in that local time, those kind of things. So yeah, so I wanted it to be searched by location and specialism, like categories. So if you were a bookkeeping VA, people could literally go on there and go, I want a bookkeeping VA. Oh,
Nice.
okay, there's 10 of them or 100 and whatever, but they'd all be in different, you can pick them out, go to their social media, go to their website, look at recommendations and reviews. So it's all there rather than the VA looking for the work. I didn't want it to be like a jobs posting situation.
Yeah.
So, I mean, don't get me wrong, if someone did ask me, oh, do you know someone that could help me with a wedding virtual assistant? I'd like to be able to go, yes, here it is. There's someone. So, yeah. So I've created the directory and it launched yesterday. So it's very new, very exciting. So exciting.
And I'll put
But yes.
I'll put the link in the show notes anyway, so everyone can see it.
Oh, thank you.
So that is where I, as a business owner, I would go and look for a VA that I want. So it's like check a trade for VAs.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah,
How exciting.
Yeah, it's so exciting. And I think, and the people I've spoken to that, I mean, the VAs I've spoken to have said, I've never heard of anything like this. There's nowhere for us. And I was like, great. And well, great, but I'll find that gap in the market. I am kind of if someone does say to me, oh, there is one, there's this one, I'd be like, well, it's not I don't know that. And I've been in this, I've been doing this for nearly 5 years, and at no point has someone said, oh, make sure you advertise on here.
Yeah, right.
So where is it?
Yeah.
So,
if there is an existing one, it's not well marketed at all.
No, not at all. And yeah, so maybe that's when they need a VA. If there is one, I'll help them. So yeah, it's.
And I would love to cover now. So one of the things that I hear quite a lot from clients is that they've got a VA, but the VA is not what they expected, or just isn't giving them the value that they'd want. And I would love to approach this from the perspective of the business owner isn't asking for more or for the right things. And I think business owners shy away from that, from saying to the VA, you're not doing what I wanted you to do, or this is how I wanted it, not like that. So if you've got some stories you can share, or some tips that you've got for the business owner in how to address challenges that they're having with their VA.
Yeah. Yeah, because I have had my fair share of different challenges. I've had it the other way as well, on a VA point of view, that I've been asked of a lot more than what is,
expected.
Because that is something you need, than what is expected. That is where business owners need to remember that this is an outsourced task. It's not an employee. So as much as all I care about when I'm working with a client, I want their business to grow. I want their business to explode. I want it to be the biggest thing, because obviously I'm then in it, aren't I? That's the point of it. But if you don't expect your VA to read your mind. I would say,
I like that.
Because they can't. Well, one, they're virtual. Well, I know some people, I mean, I have as well been into businesses, but you can't. You're an entrepreneur, or you have a business, you have all these massive ideas all the time, and you're always going, and we're always moving forward. I mean, I know, because as I'm one, I'm always, oh, I want to try this, or I'll do that, or I'll do this. But you need to be able to articulate it and explain it to your VA in a not an obvious manner, with like it. I want to say you're not paid to think, but you obviously you do have to think, but it's not like yeah, I'd say it's definitely the reading minds, being
Yeah, I
clear,
think that's a good way of
being
putting it.
yeah,
If you haven't
understanding that.
told the VA that you want it done or that you want it done in a certain way, they're not going to know.
No, no, and it is very. Sometimes it is better just to be told black and white, literally black and white of what you want,
Mm-hmm.
because then they'll do it that way. That,
Especially to start
or
with, I think if you like, if it's a new working relationship, be really
yeah,
specific about what it is that you want until the VA gets the feel for your business and how you work, and then I think there's
yeah,
leeway for letting them use their own ideas and brains and what have you and doing things themselves. But yeah, certainly
mm,
to begin with, it's okay to be really specific about what it is that you want and what your
totally.
expectations are.
But also understanding that you as a business owner might not be an expert in, like, say, an Excel spreadsheet, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So as much as, say, you'd come to them and go, oh, I want this, this, and this all on a spreadsheet, and I want this, and I want it like that, and that's exactly how I want it. The VA needs to be able to come back and go, that can't be done.
It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work
Excel
like that.
unfortunately will not do that.
So yeah, it doesn't work. So it is, but that's where I go back to the point we said at the beginning of, like, you've got to find your vibe. You've got to be able to talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have said to clients, we're not working. We can't work, but not for anyone's fault. It's just that your personality is this way and my personality is that way, and we're not working. It's not coming together as you'd want it and I'd want it. As, like, that's not going to progress anyone's business unless you can work together.
Mm-hmm.
And that also goes into the VAs on needava.co.uk. We're actual people. We're actual people that
Yeah.
have decided to become VAs. That's their, I mean, I wish I'd known about being a VA, 20 years ago. How different my life would be. But then would I be as successful? I don't know. But I think that they've chosen to do this job because they're good at admin, or they're good at
Mm-hmm.
and CRMs, they're good at Canva. Like, that's why they're doing it. So talk to them. And there are virtual assistants out there that aren't people. So that's
Yeah,
what I'm
that's a really
trying.
good point. Yeah, it is, and
There's
I think
bots.
that's important, especially
It's
as
not there.
they're virtual. I think
Mm,
sometimes it's easy to forget that they are people that are running businesses. Like they're not at your
mm,
beck and call all of the time. So I think
yeah,
boundaries are really important when it comes from both perspectives. The VA needs to
definitely.
set their boundaries and what when they work and when they're expecting to come back to you, and also the business owner needs to be clear on their boundaries as well. And it's a I think it's a good discussion to have up front,
Yeah.
especially when you're like looking for the vibe. I think that is the pinnacle of it. Is you need to do your research, both from the if you're the business owner that's looking for a VA, you need to do your research and
Mm,
have calls with a couple of VAs. Like it's okay to interview a couple of them and see which one you feel like you'll work with best. Don't just
yeah.
hire the first one that you see because it's the easiest thing to do. Like because it'll end up not being the easiest thing and it'll end up being the hardest thing ever.
Yeah, yeah. But there's a lot of I tell you, I am still explaining to people now what a VA is. There's so many
Wow.
businesses out there that are like, what?
Which is why I
Like,
had you describe it at the beginning, because I think there
yeah,
definitely are
yeah.
people that
They
don't
don't
know
get
what it
it.
is.
Exactly, which is where they'll go, oh, my partner's doing my admin. And you're like, okay,
Why?
how is that progressing anything? All right, if they're great at it, they're great at it, fine. Got to take that, can't take that away. But, it's that. And then if they go, oh, I know I can get a virtual assistant off of, can I say other websites and stuff?
I think so.
Is it gonna, yeah, off like Fiverr, you know, again, this is somewhere else. I tried to log on and tried to get a profile on there. I was like, I don't know what I need to do, and they want to take money off me before I don't understand. Am I advertising? Am I not advertising? Can I talk to someone? Like, it was very strange. And then I
Mm.
did talk to someone, and they weren't even looking for someone. They were advertising. It was such a mess.
Oh
But
wow.
what it oh yeah. But it's like that, use someone that's real. Like, have a look, like I said, I want everyone to have all their website. I want their social media. I want it all on there so that it is transparent of what you are.
Yeah.
So, and that's where, I mean, I've been undercut and I've lost work through people getting people on Fiverr
Oh
and
wow.
just totally, yeah, like totally. There was one of my biggest clients, worked them for 3 years, and it was right at the beginning. Well, I started them from the beginning, and then they sold the company and outsourced everything to the Philippines.
Oh wow.
And I was like, so they're going to be able to do, it was answering emails with teenagers. It was so hard. I can't tell you, it's so hard. But it was like, I was like, how are they going to do that? Like,
Yeah.
but what I can't go to, I could, I can't be like, well, they can't do that. Of course they can't. But I was
No.
like, okay. And they're probably getting that for $5 an hour. And you can't compete with that other
No.
than who you are. So
Yeah.
if we can be real as we can as a VA, I think I think because that's one of the first things that people do think. Oh, you're virtual, or it can be cheap or anything. So
Yeah, which is
it's hard.
an interesting way to think, especially as an online business owner. Like, I'm an online business owner. That doesn't mean I'm cheap. Just because you're an
Yep,
online VA doesn't mean that you're £5 an hour. Like, you're still running
yep,
a business, and you're still, as a VA, I think you take on quite a lot of the business's admin work. Like,
yep.
generally, you do a lot of work for the business, and therefore should be compensated um, equally for that.
Yeah, definitely. But people see it as, oh, it's admin. Oh, okay. So if I was to Google like admin assistant, and they'll be on, I don't even know anymore, like say £15 an hour, and you're
Yeah,
like, okay, and they go, well, that's what I want to pay. And you're like, but that's someone that's employed. You
yeah.
know, I have to take into account everything when
All the overheads,
tax,
tax, yeah.
all my overheads, everything, and that can dwindle a hourly rate down, really down, which is where one of the first things I learned was to make packages so that you're not a slave to the hour. You make a package, therefore people, you're going to give more. You'll give more, and it's more on your time rather than, oh, how long did that take you? Oh, that would only take me 15 minutes. And you're like, okay,
Yeah,
well, if
I get what you
if
mean.
that
It's a
you
better
have
way
to,
of both people recognizing more value. Like, the
yeah,
VA gets more value out of it, and the business owner also gets more value out of it, because you'll probably end up doing more work in the package than you would have in an
yes,
hourly rate.
yeah, and you're supporting.
Mm.
The phone calls. You don't, as soon as someone rings you, you don't like ding, right? You're on the
Yeah,
clock. So, yeah, you actually, the amount of I spend so much time talking to my clients about things. If I was to go, well, that was
count the
25
hours.
minutes, better write, that
Yeah,
was 10 minutes, better write that down. But then that's integrity. And again, that's how you get your vibe with your VA. Talk about what you expect of them. Um, the busier I've got, the less responsive I can be to clients.
yeah,
Yeah. So, but then I've realized they don't actually need someone to go, you sent me a message. I must jump on it straight away. You wouldn't do that if you worked in an office.
no,
You
not at all.
wouldn't. You'd be like, oh, an email's come through. Sort
I'll
that later.
ignore that for three
Okay,
hours.
carry on. No, no, we don't. Or ignore that for 3 hours. So,
Absolutely not.
but yeah, you have to get that. I have an agreement that I have with my clients before we start. Um, Again, it's all come from confidence of openly, when someone says, oh, can you make these phone calls? No, but one of my team can. That's
Yeah,
one of that's where that comes. Or if a new system, there's a million CRMs out there, and people go to, oh, do you know how to use this? And I go, no, but I can learn. But you'll have to pay for that,
yeah.
because if you want me to learn that stuff. So, and that's where usually the first month is always a bit kind of sticky. You're
It's trial
figuring
and
out where everybody
error,
is.
isn't it? Like, where you're trying to figure
Yeah.
out how you can work together.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And then also, in my agreements, I kind of give a 3 month trial. I say we're in a 3 month trial
Yeah,
for both of us, because, like I said, I've said, I don't think this is going to work to clients, and clients have said it to me. So and you're fine with it because you've given it a go. Because like I said, the first month can be sticky, the second month could be absolutely flying, and then the third month you don't know. So you can go, or it could just be smooth sailing, which happens as well. So, but you just get that vibe with people, you're on the same wavelength, and then you can definitely. And text messages, as VAs, you've got to watch getting WhatsApp messages and not taking them to heart.
Okay.
Because if someone say you've created some, I don't know, you've created this whole, they've asked you to put something in a spreadsheet and you've done it, and then you go, oh, I've done all that, and they go, oh, you missed that bit off, and you're like, oh, I've got so far. You've got to kind of go, especially in the first couple of months, you've got to go, oh, okay, well, I got it 80% right, so let's get the rest of it done. Like that kind of, you have to understand that it's their business, it's their way of how they want it, and if you don't get it right first time, that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
it takes a while to learn their business and how they work, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm super excited about the needava.co.uk directory. I'm expecting big things from it. But thank you so much for joining us. It's been lovely chatting to you.
Oh, thanks, Lixxy. This is great.
Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. My 3 key takeaways from today would be, when you're looking for a VA, to do your research, and if need be, speak to more than one VA so that you can make sure that you find one that's the right fit for you. Not only do they need to be able to do the tasks that you require, but you want to make sure that you and the VA fit as a team, because you're going to be working really closely together. My second one would be to set expectations up front. So be clear about your expectations up front so that the VA knows what to expect, even before you signed agreements and have started working together, so that you, again, can make sure that you're the right fit. But also remain open-minded as well when it comes to the work that's being done, because VAs are great at what they do, and they might look at something in a different way to you and find a better way of doing it or a faster way of doing it. So set expectations of what you are expecting, but also be open-minded about the ideas and what they bring to the table. And then my final takeaway for today is for you to, if you are looking for a VA, check out needava.co.uk, which is the directory that Lynsey's put together to help you find the right VA for your business. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you next time.